The WNBA is in a frenzy after Caitlin Clark just dropped her most insane video yet. We always knew she was a scoring machine with unlimited range, but this version of Clark is something entirely different. She's not just launching deep threes. She's overpowering defenders, fighting through contact, and controlling the game in ways we've never seen before. So, what changed? How did Caitlin Clark evolve from a lethal shooter into a complete, unstoppable force? Before we break it all down, take a moment to like this video and subscribe for the latest WNBA updates, expert analysis, and exclusive breakdowns. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Alright, let's dive in. Caitlin Clark 2. The evolution of a superstar. We all knew Clark had next-level talent, but no one expected this kind of leap. She's no longer just a sniper. She's taking over games from every angle. Gone are the days when teams could simply pressure her on the perimeter. Now she's dictating the pace, breaking down defenses, and making every matchup a nightmare. And let's be honest, nobody saw this coming. Rival coaches are scrambling for answers because Clark has shattered expectations. Defenders can't just push her around anymore. She's stronger, faster, and more explosive than ever. So what's behind this incredible transformation? A whole new level of physicality. The WNBA isn't just a step up from college, it's an entirely different battlefield. Defenders are bigger, stronger, and more experienced. They know how to disrupt rhythm, get physical, and make life difficult for even the best rookies. When Clark entered the league, some critics questioned if she could handle the physicality. Would she struggle against WNBA-level defense? Would her scoring translate? Instead of letting those doubts define her, she went to work. Rather than relying solely on her elite shooting, Clark committed to transforming her entire game. She spent the offseason not just refining her skills, but rebuilding her body to handle the league's physical demands. Clark didn't just hit the gym, she redesigned her training from the ground up. Her regimen wasn't about small adjustments, it was a complete overhaul. Strength training. She built muscle to hold her ground against physical defenders, absorb contact, and finish strong at the rim. Core stability. A strong core isn't just about balance, it's about maintaining control under pressure. Lower body power, her explosive first step, deep shooting range, and finishing ability all come from stronger legs. Upper body strength. WNBA defenders don't give you easy lanes. Clark made sure she could take hits and keep scoring. Endurance stamina. The best players don't dominate for a quarter, they take over for the entire game. Clark conditioned herself to maintain peak performance deep into the fourth quarter. Explosiveness. Quickness. She worked on acceleration, lateral speed, and first-step explosiveness to blow past defenders with ease. Injury. Prevention. Flexibility. Staying on the court is just as important as skill development, so she focused on recovery and durability. Clark didn't just train to survive in the WNBA, she trained to dominate. A new era of Caitlin Clark now. Instead of teams pushing her around, she's the one setting the tone. She's stronger, faster, and more aggressive than ever before. Opponents who used to pressure her now have to pick their poison, back off and give her space, or get burned as she drives past them. And here's the scary part. She's just getting started. If she's making this kind of leap now, imagine where she'll be in a year. Teams are scrambling for answers, but there might not be any. This isn't just about skill anymore. It's about mentality, resilience, and rewriting the rules of what's possible. Caitlin Clark isn't just playing in the WNBA, she's changing it, and this is only the beginning. If you made it this far, you're clearly a fan of elite basketball, so hit that like button and subscribe for more WNBA content. We've got everything from deep dive player breakdowns to game-changing moments. The transition from college basketball to the WNBA isn't just about skill. It's about surviving and thriving against the most physical, experienced, and relentless defenders in the world. Every rookie faces this challenge, but for a player like Caitlin Clark, who built her game around finesse, shooting, and playmaking, the adjustment was even more critical. When Clark entered the league, defenses immediately targeted her with physical play. WNBA defenders knew they couldn't give her space, so they started bodying her up, bumping her off her spots, and testing her ability to handle contact. This was a level of physicality she hadn't consistently faced in college, where her elite shooting allowed her to dictate the game from beyond the arc. Early on, some critics wondered if Clark would struggle with the constant defensive pressure. Could she fight through screens when defenders locked onto her? Would she be able to finish at the rim when bigger, stronger players stepped into her path? Would she still be able to create separation against quicker, more disciplined defenders? Rather than backing down, Clark took these challenges head-on. She didn't just acknowledge the problem, she attacked it with the same intensity that made her a superstar. Caitlin Clark knew that simply being an elite shooter wasn't enough. To dominate at the professional level, she had to build a body that could withstand and even thrive against WNBA-level contact. That meant redesigning her training, strengthening every aspect of her game, and developing a mindset that embraced the grind. Clark increased her upper body strength so she could hold her ground against aggressive defenders. Before, when defenders bumped her, she might have lost her balance or been forced into an off-balance shot. Now, she absorbs the contact, maintains her positioning, and still gets off a clean look. Her lower body strength also improved, allowing her to explode to the basket with more force, fight through defenders, and elevate higher on her jump shots. No longer just a perimeter shooter, Clark can now challenge defenders at the rim, finishing through contact with a level of power she didn't have before. One of the biggest differences between college and the WNBA is the pace and intensity of the game. Every possession is faster, more physical, and more strategic. In college, she was often the best conditioned player on the floor, but in the WNBA, she needed to take her endurance to an even higher level. Clark worked tirelessly on her stamina so that she could maintain peak performance late in the fourth quarter when other players were slowing down. By the end of games, when defenders are fatigued, Clark is still pushing the tempo, hitting deep threes and creating plays. College, Clark was known for her deep shooting range, but in the WNBA, defenses have tightened up on her, forcing her to put the ball on the floor and attack the basket. Instead of settling for contested jumpers, she embraced contact finishes, using her improved strength and balance to score even when defenders try to knock her off course. Now, when defenders try to force her into tough shots, she welcomes the challenge, absorbing the hit, adjusting mid-air, and finishing strong. This is the mark of a truly elite scorer, one who doesn't rely on just one skill, but can beat you in multiple ways. WNBA defenders are savvy and disciplined. They don't just play defense with their bodies, they use their minds to anticipate plays, cut off passing lanes, and disrupt an opponent's rhythm. Clark studied how the best players handle defensive pressure, adjusting her footwork, decision-making, and off-ball movement to stay one step ahead of defenders. Now, instead of getting pushed off her spots, she dictates the flow of the game, controlling the tempo, setting up teammates, and forcing defenders into uncomfortable situations. This version of Caitlin Clark is completely different from the one we saw in college. She's no longer just a shooter, she's a complete player who can punish defenders in multiple ways. Defenders can't body her up anymore because she's too strong. They can't force her into tough shots because she can break them down off the dribble. They can't wear her down because her endurance is at an elite level. And they can't push her out of her rhythm because she's learned to play through contact and keep her composure under pressure. The days of opponents bullying her off the ball are over. Now she's the one controlling the game, setting the tone, making defenders second-guess themselves, and proving that she's not just here to compete, but to dominate. And the scariest part? She's just getting started. If this is what Caitlin Clark looks like after just a short time in the WNBA, imagine where she'll be in a year. Teams are scrambling to come up with ways to slow her down, but the truth is, there may not be an answer. Clark isn't just adapting to the WNBA, she's changing it. Now, I want to hear from you. Is Caitlin Clark on her way to becoming the most dominant player in the league? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and make sure you subscribe for more in-depth WNBA content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.